Well, good afternoon, good morning. Let me adjust my microphone here. Sorry about that. And welcome to another one of our Thursday lives here at the AOPP. I am Dr. Jerry Dreessen, the AOPP Executive Director. And if you have never seen us or heard of us, welcome. We're here to help support anybody that's using PEMF, whether it be for humans or animals. Or plants, as you'll find out if you're new to this. Again, today what we're going to be talking about, it's a carryover from last week, where this is part 2 as far as what new animal PEMF research is revealing. And let's just jump right in. If you didn't see part 1, you can go back. Again, it's YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. You can jump in on any of those channels and watch the replay. So where is the science going next? Well, let's start out with our first one right here: why animal research has a unique scientific role. So newer studies are using what are called force plate gate analysis. And if you don't know what a force plate is, it's basically a plate. It measures pressure. And so when we're talking about strength, when people walk, when they push off, when they jump and land and then jump again, it can measure the amount of force, which also measures in increase or decrease in power. PEMF has been talking about helping build power in the muscles. And so we're doing that, human trials, but also animal trials, because an animal can't fake being weak or pushing off harder, so they can't get into the details and try and change those. So that's the cool thing about what that does. And so animal models can reveal PEMF mechanisms and identify what to measure and expose study design problems that apply to human research as well, which is what I basically covered here. And then cross-species patterns as far as mice, dogs, horses, and humans, strengthening biological plausibility, but do not settle clinical claims. And so each species and study stands on its own. Some really good research going on, which is what we're going to cover. So the first one, which is very interesting, is the most surprising findings is PEMF in the gut microbiome. And those of you that have been reading up on this and studying it, our digestive tract has its own system. Some people even think it's got its own intelligence or its own brain, or that it communicates with the brain in a way that it shows intelligence as far as what it needs and doesn't need and how it works. And if it isn't given the proper nutrients, or isn't, like acidophilus helps with the biome, so it creates a good flora to break down and digest food. And so what they did with this mouse study in 2025 is the gut microbiota, or biota, depending on where you're from PEMF-treated donors were transplanted into untreated obese mice. And the recipients showed metabolic and bone-related improvements without receiving PEMF directly. So something happened with this biome that got moved over. There was an intelligence in this biome that got moved over, basically. And so they're trying to figure out why. And it adds a new possible mechanism where PEMF may influence the gut biome, which may then drive systemic effects beyond the treated area. So you can package up your own gut biome and deliver it over to a friend. We're probably going to see that. We know that they are doing some of that already, where people take pills from other people's digestion systems and seeing that help them out. So, we got a nice little shout out from Barbara. Hi, Barbara. Thanks for jumping on. I think you were like the first one to hit it. So thanks for coming in. And again, this is a preclinical mouse research, so it doesn't support gut health claims, but it gives the field a powerful new hypothesis to investigate. So again, with all of these trials, it's like people go, that was interesting. Now, based on this outcome, what can we do to reproduce it? what else can we do this with? So again, we're kind of giving you the latest and greatest, and then it'll be interesting to see where this research goes. Next, as far as what the microbiome study changes, again, the traditional PEMF mechanisms were cells and tissues, circulation, inflammatory pathways, again, the mitochondria, and then local recovery processes. The new hypothesis from these studies is that the gut microbiome changes, systemic metabolic effects, bone-related outcomes, effects beyond treated areas, and then transferable via microbiota or microbiota. I mean, I can say that 20 different ways, so I'll try and stick with the same one every time I say it. So anyways, that is kind of what they gained from that study. Now, another study, as far as cross-species metabolism, what they're doing, an avian study, so this is with the birds, but brief weekly magnetic field exposure influenced oxidative muscular character during embryonic development. And so again, the importance is mechanistic, not clinical, but similar mitochondrial and metabolic themes now appearing across mice, birds, and humans. As far as the sarcopenia, T2D research, and sarcopenia is again in the muscle. The scientific story is strengthening across species. So cross-species consistency does not equal clinical proof, but it tells researchers where to look next and builds biology or biological plausibility for the field. So when PEMF is used, regardless, I mean, the theory is, regardless of whether it's a human or an animal, and across the board animals, that you can be guaranteed X effect is going to happen. That's what they want to be able to conclude. But again, not enough clinical trials to prove that, but it is enough to kind of tickle the hypothesis behind it. So it'll drive more research, which is where we want to be. It's a great, like I said, for those of you that are in PEMF, this is a great time to be part of it. Some canine osteoarthritis and the Berlin study that popped up. I should have all of the studies in the description. Facebook only allowed me to do, I think, 10 links, so I may have dropped this one out, but if it's not there, let me know. We'll put it in a second post. But there was a randomized double-blind placebo-controlled trial, which is what we want. Double-blind means the receiver and the giver don't know what's going on. Placebo-controlled means that there was some sort of a non-device or something going on. And for us, for PEMF and a human, it could be just a device that was clicking, or if it's digital, you can do sham PEMF. So anyways, that's what's going on with using dogs. Dogs aren't going to know whether it's a machine working or not. Other than feeling it. With radiographically confirmed osteoarthritis, one of the strongest designs in animal PEMF research to date. So they used force plate gait analysis. So like if a dog's limping, they can pick that up on that force plate, that there's less weight going on that forearm or back leg. So a dog cannot fake a force plate result. So they can't, fake a limp. And also owner expectations do not create the measurement. So the outside influence of people changing how they feel. So that's the great thing about it, is that it eliminates all of that. So PEMF treated dogs showed statistically significant improvement in gait symmetry by day 42. And again, it's not a claim, but it's also promising evidence. And again, with this cross-species format, the goal would be, well, if it happens in dogs, then it can happen in humans, or it can happen in horses, or pick your favorite animal. So what the study means for practitioners is that we can say as practitioners that controlled canine PEMF research exists. The random controlled trial found objective gait improvements, and PEMF is a promising non-invasive support option for canine mobility, and that veterinary collaboration remains important. But we have to be careful because the study wasn't large. So that's the other thing with the studies. You got to have this huge amount. I mean, the more that you have in there, then the better. And again, longer term outcomes are still needed. Osteoarthritis is a veterinarian diagnosis, so you can't just say that you're treating that. So you have to get a confirmation of it. And then pain and medication decisions belong with licensed vets on that. Good takeaway. Equine research practices ahead of the evidence. And so equine PEMF is widely used for recovery, comfort, mobility, performance, back sensitivity, hoof concerns, and general wellness, but most claims still rest on human canine research, mechanistic studies, and practitioner experience. Newer equine studies do not confirm everything practitioners hope. Instead, they show where the field needs better measurement and study design. Bottom line is you use PEMF, you know that the animal's doing better. And we all know that. But in order to make a claim that when you're in front of a lawyer and a judge, you've got the based evidence saying, well, here's what the evidence is showing, versus like, hey, every time I use it, I see these results. I think that's awesome, but it's not gonna carry weight as we go across through all of these different boards and people that we're talking to. So again, it shows what allows the equine PEMF field to grow in with credibility. So one of the ones was the hoof research that was done. And so there was a pilot study with 10 horses, and they used X-ray imaging to evaluate the PEMF possible effect on the hoof sole depth, which is a first step from anecdotal to objective measurement. The findings were limited and preliminary, and it provides a starting point, but not a basis for making a broad claim on what it can do. And if PEMF is going to be discussed in the hoof space, the field needs imaging, measurement, controlled follow-up, and not just before and after impressions. And if any of you have been following in the PEMF world, gosh, has it been 10 years, maybe longer? There's a great study done with a horse that had a bad hoof, and there were x-rays taken. I think there were 4 times along the way that this mangled horse hoof was x-rayed, and PEMF was done, I think, almost daily for a period of time. And you could see the bone basically growing back into the hoof again, which was a crazy, amazing thing. And the owner didn't have to put the horse down, and it was out running around. That was the cool thing. Is the very end of the presentation, there's a picture of the horse running around the stable without any problems. So again, we know it works. We just have to prove that it works, and it has to be done with more than just 10 horses in a study. So this is like the more sampling we can get, the better. Another one. Again, the pilot study evaluated PEMF safety in sport horses using hematological and biochemical blood work markers, adding measured equine specific data and as far as based on assumption. So it shifts the safety conversation from PEMF is non-invasive, therefore safe, to early studies are beginning to measure biological safety markers directly. So horses may be athletes under training, competition rules, medication protocol, and welfare scrutiny. Non-invasive alone is not enough. The field needs to be measured as far as more safety data. But again, non-invasive is the lane that we want to be in. If it's invasive, then that's where you need to have doctor oversight and prescription. So as long as we can be in that non-invasive lane, then we're good to go. Got another shout out here. Oh, great. Yeah, AOPP will be at MagnaCon this year. So those of you that are going will be part of that will be in the workshops. So, but we'll also have a booth there so you can stop by and say hi. So this study found horses showed relaxation behaviors under a blanket, but could not separate the signal from a warmth, weight, comfort, handling, and routine. So that was the difference between, well, was it the PEMF or was it the blanket that caused it? And so again, if you can rig up a blanket that doesn't have those things, or a placebo blanket, then you can start getting some good research with that. So a sham blanket, that's what that means, is it matches warmth and weight, crossover designs, but again, it doesn't do the same thing as a blanket. So how do you do that, right? So some of these studies are tough to do. And again, they tried to do it with chiropractic, same thing. It's like, how do you do a sham adjustment? And we were always laughing about that. It's like, well, compared to a sham adjustment, it's like, excuse me, how do you perform a sham adjustment? How does the human getting the sham adjustment think that it was the same thing as the real adjustment? And that you can't do a sham adjustment, especially somebody that's had chiropractic care before. Same thing. How do you create a sham blanket? Which brings another thing. Maybe we could call the ShamWow people and have them build a blanket for us. That might be the way to tie that in. So again, future equine studies need the blankets in order to get a better outcome scientifically, as far as research studies. We know that it works, but we can't prove that it works scientifically because we need to have all of the things in place to measure the outcome. And again, what animal research opens up for the PEMF field, again, the microbiome may be a part of PEMF story. Human, canine, equine studies show now evaluate whether PEMF changes gut composition and whether those changes correlate with systemic outcomes. I would think that in that study that they would take the one that got the results from and then take their biome and move it over to another one and see how many generations of transfer can it happen and still work. So to me, that would be another way to shake that box. Objective outcomes need to become standard. So again, force plate gait analysis, activity monitors, imaging, EMG, blood work, and validated scales should replace reliance on subjective observation alone. The horse just looks and feels better based on my observation, which in our world is great, but again, to a scientist, it means nothing. It's very objective, very black and white. So again, better sham controls are essential. The equine blanket and devices for warmth, weight, contact, and handling, not just appearance. Bottom line on all of that, so the AOPP, we support research-informed education, responsible communication, non-diagnostic PEMF practice, veterinary collaboration, and accurate public claims. Things that you should avoid as practitioners is diagnosis or prognosis, unless you're a professional. Disease treatment claims to cure or prevent disease, suggesting PEMF replaces veterinary care, and overstating single species studies. So food may make you less hungry. That's kind of you can just really go into a lot of different iterations of this. So the future of PEMF will not be built on bigger claims. It will be built on better evidence, better documentation, better language, better research design, and better professional standards, which all of those are getting better. We're seeing, like I said, these research documents I'm talking about are scientists that are doing the proper layout for the work. So that'll be good. Oh, Joanne popped on. Hey, Joanne. Welcome to Washington, all the way from Florida. It's blue sky and sunny out here today. So we're all out on the streets celebrating. But again, on the Q&A, if you guys have any questions, go ahead and drop them in. If we don't get a chance to answer them live on air, then we'll definitely hop in on the call, which actually concludes today's talk. So we've been talking about part 2 on the research and what's going on. And as you can see, there's some really great research going on right now. They just need more of it and larger studies in order to come up to a conclusion where we can say X does cause Y, or A plus B does equal C. Right now we have A plus B equals, we think, C, but we're not sure. We're seeing a lot of C. But until we have all of that in place, we're not going to be able to jump in and make those claims yet. So again, thank you very much for your time today. I appreciate you hopping on, those of you from all over, not only the United States, but our international members too. And if you are interested in what we're about, if you're watching this for the first time, you can become a member. You can become certified. You can be certified in human, animal, small animal, and also infrared. And if you just want to know about PEMF in general, so we have all that available for you. Oh, Tina, look at that. She is listening via her phone, I would imagine, unless you got a Tesla and you're watching it on your screen. And then also, if you have, again, any questions, you'll be able to get those answered. Lauren's really great at returning questions and stuff like that. And Priest River, Idaho, got it. And there is what do we got here? Oh yeah, that's right. And then finally, if you are helping us by spreading the word, where you can take this video today and you can share it, you can like it, you can push it over to your Instagram, go over to YouTube and hit the like, or even subscribe. Our goal is not to hit 1 million subscribers, which would be great. Our goal is to get the information out to people that are doing PEMF or thinking about PEMF, or people that use PEMF. And as again, we continue to grow. There are the companies that make PEMF devices. They're changing their science and coming up with even better devices than what they were 10 years ago. So lots of great stuff, lots of great growth going on. So again, thank you very much for your time today, and I look forward to speaking again in the future, hopefully next week. So God willing, and the river don't rise, right? All right, take care. We'll see you next time. Bye.